What's up guys, Luke here with Luke's Points and Miles, and we are back with another maximum value points redemption video. Now I know the trend on YouTube right now is to really never worry about how much value you're getting for your points and miles, but I'm going to tell you this, and I'll make it quick. Check your math once in a while, because if you aren't getting higher value, then chances are you might be better off with a no annual fee cashback setup. Gasp, I know. But if you're only getting 1.2 to 1.4 cents per point, and you're only earning 1.5 to 3 points per dollar, then take a look at your math and compare it to a 5% cashback card. We can all put together a no annual fee set that can get 5% back on almost everything. Nothing wrong with getting lower end value as long as you're making memories and having fun. But if you are interested in getting the maximum value for your hard-earned points, then this is the series for you. Today, I will basically walk you through one of my latest redemptions where I got an insane amount of value for a trip that I've always wanted to take. And don't worry, a lot of these examples include the whole family, so everyone can enjoy. Then again, if you are going solo, this kind of value eliminates all the excuses you have for not getting out there and seeing the world. If you're interested in 5, 10, even 15 cents per point, then sit down, crack open a cold drink, maybe even subscribe to the channel, and let's get started with this maximum value redemption, which is from Switzerland back home to the US. Most of my max value videos are examples of going somewhere awesome, but this one is actually a great example of how to get home. We're going to fly Swiss Air business class on the A330 from Geneva to JFK, New York. Have you ever just wanted to fly something or try a product with no real explanation why? Well, this is how I feel about Swiss Air business class. It's not regarded as the best product on anyone's list, and Switzerland isn't exactly on every YouTube recommended page as a fancy tourist destination, but for me it's up there. I have no clue why, but I've always wanted to drive a convertible on one of those twisty Swiss roads, ride a Swiss train through a mountain, or visit a Swiss watch factory. Just a fascination I've always had. I've had maybe 25 Swiss Army knives just because I like the Victorinox logo, because, well, it's Swiss. So this summer, I should get my chance to check those things out. Let's go over how I booked it. But first, a little about Swiss Air. Swiss Air's parent company is Lufthansa, the German mega airline. They're also part of the Star Alliance with a hub in Zurich, a focus city in Geneva, and headquarters near Basel, Switzerland. Their program is called the Miles and More program, and they have a fleet of around 88 planes and over 8,000 employees. There are quite a few YouTube videos focusing on this business class product, so if you want to see, there is plenty of content already out there. I will just get this out of the way now. I didn't book this flight through Swiss Air, but I do recognize that Swiss Air is a Star Alliance partner, and the more I get into maximum value redemptions, the more respect I have for Star Alliance redemptions. First things first, let's check out some routes. Let's go to the Googles. I see some cool options like Iceland Air and TAP Air Portugal, but I want to remind you guys that I don't want to take 3 flights home. That's too much logistically for me, let alone the whole family. Traveling can be tough, so we really need to try to make it as smooth as possible. So for me, I want a direct flight back to the States. I'll pick JFK because I'm sure I can get a ride home from Delta or American fairly easy. Time is also a factor. We only get so much of it, and I don't need to spend it changing planes and try to read signs in another language or looking for the lounge and just generally making sure everyone is on time. So I'm going to change this up to direct flights. Now we find 2 options, Delta and Swiss Air. We could probably do a whole other video on the Delta option, but remember this is maximum value redemptions, not marginal at best value redemptions. So let's dive into the Swiss option. Checking out Swiss Air's website and my Google machine, I learned that I really don't have an option to transfer my credit card points to Swiss Air. Not any US-based cards anyway. So I'm going to check out Air Canada's Aeroplan program. Aeroplan is a monster when it comes to great value with its Star Alliance partner flights. And Aeroplan miles can be earned from transferring points from American Express, Capital One, and Chase. Chase even has their own co-branded Aeroplan card. Sorry guys, no city option, but Aeroplan is also partnered with Bilt. If you are interested in cards that earn these transferable points, check out my super cool card link in the description below. Using that link really supports my channel and it allows me to provide you with mostly unsponsored content, because that's what you guys prefer. If you have used my link in the past, I really do thank you. So before we move on, that's not a typo. That's the actual cash price for 3 tickets. Remember, this is a family trip. You can adjust the numbers for a single ticket, but right now I'm looking at over $18,000 for these tickets back to the States. I feel like I don't have to really say that this is too expensive for me. And I also feel like I shouldn't have to say that booking business class seats on an 8-hour flight is way cooler than an economy. So let's figure out how we can use our hobby to make this experience a reality. Moving over to Aeroplan's website, which is really easy to use and to navigate. Trust me, that does matter. We can easily punch in our date, destinations, and make sure we check the book with Aeroplan box. I know this is just one example, but this one example really is this easy. I'm amazed that some of these flights have this many award seats available this time of year. The direct flight we want has 3 seats for a very comfortable 60,000 Aeroplan points and 141 Canadian dollars. Now, I don't know what ducats are worth, but my receipt said $103 in real money plus the fees. Now, let me pause here for just one moment. I know an extra $100 might be a substantial amount of money for some, but most of us can save up that much. And I want to point out that some folks are spending 25,000 to 30,000 miles on domestic flights. And there's nothing wrong with that, but for just 60,000 points, and we're going to talk about how we can get that even cheaper later in the video, you can travel on an overseas flight in luxury. That's a much different experience in so many different ways. But let's stay on track with the numbers on this one. Aeroplan even has an option where you can pay the entire ticket with points. Now, I don't really recommend that because with the fees and taxes, you aren't getting a ton of value from your points. But I can understand someone making it simple and just booking the whole thing with Aeroplan points. Now that I've seen the redemption, let's look at 2 different ways we can calculate the value of these hard-earned points when redeeming them in this fashion. First look, the cash price of 3 tickets was $18,788, and we can debate about that price all you want, and I'm very open-minded when I hear all the reasons why that's not a real price, from the price is only what I'm willing to pay, to it's only high because it's a one-way, or there must be a David Hasselhoff concert in town that night. But at the end of the day, Swiss Air won't let you sit there unless you pay them. So let's take the published cash price and subtract $487 in taxes and fees. And I will again recognize that that is no small amount of money. But with our 180,000 points transferred over to Aeroplan, we see that our points in this redemption received a value of 10.1 cents per point. I'm over the moon with that evaluation and the experience it will get me, but that's not exactly the whole story. See, right now, Chase is offering a 20% bonus when transferring Chase Ultimate Reward points to Aeroplan. What that means is I can transfer 150,000 points to Aeroplan and actually receive 180,000 Aeroplan points, enough to redeem these tickets. 150,000 Ultimate Rewards points become redeemed for 12.2 cents per point. And that's why I love Chase so much. Just kidding. But how great is that? That's 3 international business class tickets for less than 2 ink sign-up bonuses. I want to remind you guys that when you have points in different ecosystems, you have a better chance of hitting one of those limited time bonuses and getting crazy value for those points. I'll also state that when redeeming your points in this way for high value, the champagne tastes a little sweeter and the lobster maybe a little more buttery. I actually look forward to this 8.5-hour flight because it's a day flight. I can enjoy the whole ride in the very first seat on the plane, which they're calling the throne seat. It also makes me a champion for the day with my wife, and I owe her that. I'm not exactly the best husband, so I try to make it up with aspirational European vacations. Guys, that is it. It really is that simple. As a reminder, if you are interested in cards that earn these transferable currencies that make all these things possible, check out my card link in the description below. And if you guys have stayed around all the way to the end, I appreciate you and I thank every single one of you.